There was 2 times in my life where I completely stopped drawing. Months, years rolled by, and I didn't think I was ever going to start drawing again. I'm Chris. Welcome to Panels in Progress, a channel about making comics and learning through the process. And today's video is about how to get started again. If you've stopped drawing and you want to start again, where to start? This is going to be a really chill conversation. I'm going to share my experience and then provide some tips about how to get going. So if that's interesting to you, stay tuned. Alright, so let's talk about the first time I stopped drawing. I gotta build the story a little bit, but basically it was right after college. I went to a art school and I was there for 4 years. And I actually really enjoyed art school. I had a lot of fun, even though it was a lot of work. I made straight A's, I was on the president's list, everything seemed to be going perfectly. But that last year of art school was the hardest year that I ever had in my life at that point. That last year was portfolio review. And at this particular art school, which shall remain nameless because do not recommend, and even if I did recommend it, you wouldn't be able to get into it anyway. Yeah, it's one of those. But portfolio review was basically a class to a whole semester dedicated to preparing your portfolio for review by your peers, your teachers, and industry professionals were going to come in and review your portfolio as well. So you had 3 months to gather everything that you had learned and created and compile it into a cohesive presentation. But the problem is, I failed it. I failed the portfolio review. And the first time I failed the portfolio review, yeah, it was a knock to my spirit, but I was like, okay, I had some feedback. Let me take this feedback and rework it and come back. So I retook the class all over again. And I failed it again. I came back again, even more defeated, but I was like, this is my dream. This is what I want to do. I guess I should input here that I wasn't in art school for comics. I was actually in art school for animation, which is a completely different path. But I wanted to be a 2D animator at that time, and it was super important. So once again, I reworked my portfolio and took the class again. And I failed it a third time. I failed portfolio review 3 times. I was in debt up to my ears. I was at the end of the line. I was at the point in my life where I'm an adult. I'm trying to get into the professional field. I'm trying to start my life. But this one test, this one portfolio review, I could not pass it. And I had to leave the school. I had to drop out. I had to go back home. I didn't go back home. I ended up moving in with my girlfriend at the time. But basically at that point, I felt like a complete failure. I felt like my whole life leading up to that moment had been a lie. How could I be getting perfect A's in school, passing all my assignments, and then taking those same assignments to the portfolio review and then failing it? It didn't make any sense to me, and it had me questioning who I was as an artist for a long time. I stopped drawing. I stopped thinking about animation. I started hating everything that had to do with it, the school, the art, animation, everything, because it didn't work out for me. I'm not sure how much time it took between me leaving school and then slowly starting to draw again. But I remember being completely devastated during that part of my life, and I didn't think that I ever was going to draw again. The second time that I stopped drawing was not too long after I had just kind of got back into it again. I had started working because I wasn't going to be a professional artist, so now I needed to find work, and I did anything to make money. I had $0. I was fresh out of school. The student loan debt was about to come knocking at my door. Sally Mae was a gangster. Still is, even though, the name is different now, but I see you. I know who you are. I needed money, so I took temporary jobs, dead-end jobs, any job that would pay the bills, because that was life. I was in complete survival mode, and I was working so much and so hard, late hours, night shifts, odd jobs, just doing anything to make money, that I was too tired to draw. I had no ideas, I had no energy, I had no money. It was the second time that I felt like a complete failure at life, that I didn't know what I was doing, I didn't know what I should be doing. I was just trying to survive. And I don't even remember exactly. Actually, I do remember what got me back into drawing. It was the fact that life was already shitty, so I might as well escape into my own fantasy reality, because what else did I have to do? I didn't have money to really enjoy life at that time. It was all the money was going towards bills. So I started drawing because for me as a child, that was always my safe space. Drawing and creating and making these worlds that I wish I could be a part of. Drawing a better life that I wish that I had superpowers, that I had money, that I had all the things that a kid wishes that they had. I drew them. And I think that's what got me back into drawing after that second failure. Now, your story might be the same, or it might be slightly different. You might have completely different reasons from why you stopped drawing, or maybe your reasons are the same as mine. But I'm pretty sure you probably feel it, that there's a hole in your life, a missing piece that if it was a part of your life, you would feel more connected. You would feel more alive. And that missing piece is drawing, is creating, is telling your story, making comics, making manga, all of it. Art. I think if you are either naturally or unnaturally an artist, there's something about art that calls to each and every one of us. The call to create. And I'm asking you to answer the call. If you haven't been drawing in a long time, if you've fallen away from the habit, if you've given up, don't give up. Pick up your pencil, pick up your sketchbook. If you have an iPad, the beauty of art, the beauty of drawing, especially the beauty of making a comic or manga, is that you actually don't need as much as you think you do. A pencil and paper, that's really all you need. A pencil, paper, and an idea would help too. Start drawing. And obviously, if you're still watching this video, you want to start again. You want to draw again. And you're probably asking yourself, well, how do I start? Where do I start? And I think the easiest answer is to start with your heart. Start with your joy. Start with the love of whatever it is. What started your passion for comics? What started your passion for art? What started your passion for manga? What started it all? Go back to the beginning And right there at the beginning, you're going to have all the answers you need. For me, if I go back to the beginning, it had to be watching Saturday morning cartoons, X-Men Classic, Batman animated series, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and eventually Dragon Ball Z. Those series, like, I was making knockoffs of those series because I loved seeing the characters. And that's where I would start today. Don't be afraid of doodling. Don't be afraid to create fan art, because fan art is the passion. The fact that you see something so cool that you want to recreate a piece, or you want to make your own original character in that world. I can't tell you how many Dragon Ball Z knockoffs I made, how many Pokemon knockoffs I made, because that's the love, right? Creating something new, even if it's not yours. You can use a already existing world, an already existing IP, and use it as a sandbox. Use it as your personal play box where you can build characters, you can build alternate realities, alternate stories, and just have fun. I think sometimes we forget just how much art is supposed to be fun. Creating a story, telling a story is supposed to be fun. So remember, to get started, just start. Just doodle, just sketch. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to show anyone. Matter of fact, don't show anyone, because sharing online these days has become its own problematic issue that if you're already in your head about the drawing or the process, then alleviate the stress, alleviate the pressure, and just start drawing. And once you actually start drawing, your next step should be trying to build a habit. Not saying showing up every single day, but if you can make a mental plan for yourself that for 5 to 10 minutes, 20 minutes if you have it, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to draw. I'm going to create something. You can draw from your imagination. Follow your imagination. You can start simple. Start small. It doesn't have to be something grandiose. It doesn't have to be something super amazing. Sometimes the silliest little sketches, the silliest little ideas are some of the best ideas, because it's just for the fun of it. But making a plan to show up and draw, that's what builds the habit. That's what's going to keep you going. And what's going to keep you flowing and adding more to these ideas is asking questions, creating stories, following the cool. Let's say you create a random character that looks cool. Well, and he has a scar on his face. Or scars were really cool when I was growing up. I don't know why. Like, a character with a scar meant they had lived a life, they had a backstory, and I had fun coming up with, well, why they have these scars. Now I'm thinking about Batman the Dark Knight. Do you want to know why I have these scars? But yeah, follow your imagination down a rabbit hole. You can use your own characters, or like I said, fan art is an easy way. You already like the media, you already like the thing, so make something of that. Make your own version of those characters. Gender swap them. What if they were all alien creatures? What if it's Harry Potter but mermaids? I don't know. Like, come up with something that is different enough to get your ideas flowing and get you drawing and creating and telling a story. And eventually you will have an idea for a story. I mean, that's really how we're going to get to making comics again. It's just having fun with the art, having fun with the media, and eventually putting it together into a story. Think about whatever your favorite piece of media is. I can use Dragon Ball Z. Like, what made Dragon Ball Z cool for me was 1, the martial arts, 2, the power-ups, the screaming, the crazy hair, like, all of that had me completely glued to the television. And it's apparently still gluing kids to the television to this day. Bleach, another popular anime way back when. Just how cool those characters look. Those swords, and each sword had its own power. And then I'd start to wonder, well, if I had a character in Bleach, what would my sword look like? What would my hidden power be? X-Men, I used to love X-Men back in the day. I was so hyped when the cartoon would come on, and the fact that we actually got an X-Men movie, I know like in today's day and age that sounds crazy and wild, that I thought we'd never see an X-Men movie or a movie about superheroes. But yeah, like drawing a character, my version of Wolverine or Gambit. Actually, Gambit is I don't know, my favorite X-Men, because he was just so cool. Like, what's his story? Like the leather dust jacket, the staff, the weird pink, and like that cool way he had the mask and how his hair was out the top. Like, these were cool design ideas, and they got me excited about drawing. And so what I'm saying is, find the cool for you. Find something that you're like, oh my god, that's so fucking cool. I want to draw something like that, but in my style. And I mean, use your sketchbook, use loose paper, use notebook lined paper, use whatever you have. Like, you don't have to go out and buy something super special and then feel even more pressure about how amazing or how expensive this new sketchbook is. Just grab a sheet of copy paper and explore. Make a judgment-free zone where you can experiment and have fun and bring back the wonder of art in your life. Because it really doesn't matter how long you've been away from drawing. What matters is that you're gonna come back. And once you start drawing, line by line, sketch by sketch, all of it is going to come back. Slowly but surely, it'll all come back. I guess I could say it's like riding a bike. And once I came back to drawing, I haven't stopped. And it's been about 12 years. Now, it took me even longer between that stopping and actually making comics. But eventually, I got there. And I'll probably share that story on a whole nother podcast. But I want to know, have you stopped drawing and eventually started up again? What made you start drawing again? What made you stop drawing in the first place? Let me know in the comment section below. I definitely enjoy reading your story as well as sharing my story. Can't thank you guys enough for watching the channel and subscribing to the channel. I appreciate it so much. If you want to see my older comics and how things are progressing, links to all of that are in the description below. And until next time, let's make some progress.